Hi everyone, it's a gorgeous day in Ottawa, early May, and we've got the stats for April. Now, what happens when the feds intervene in the marketplace and raise interest rates? Banks obviously correspondingly raise their interest rates, and we see a shift in the market. We have been in an absolutely ballistic real estate market for an extended period of time, and the Bank of Canada wants to ease some of that pressure and make housing more affordable and accessible. And you know what? Ultimately, those are all very, very good things. So, what happens when this happens? We've now had 2 increases in interest rates this year. The most recent one was a half a basis point. I know that all sounds like a lot of weirdness for the average consumer. Let's just put it this way. When you go to your bank and they raise an interest rate on your, on your mortgage on a 25-year term by 1%, you lose about 10% of your purchasing power. So what that means is, you qualified for $1 million at 2%, and now we're at 3%, and now you're qualifying for $900,000. So it's a very significant impact as we raise interest rates on affordability if you are kind of doing conventional financing, meaning that you've got maybe 80% loan to value ratio. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal, and it's going to flow into what the Ottawa real estate market looks like. So let's take a look. March over April, we have a small dip in sales volume. That's very interesting. We don't typically see that. Typically, April is a bigger month than March. We've got more active listings by about 36%. So what that means is we have more months of inventory. But let's try and keep a little bit of perspective here. There is currently 1 month of standing inventory, not even. A balanced market would be 4 to 6. So this is a very, very strong seller's market. But we've come out of maybe the ballistic market and into a very, very strong seller's market. And that's reflected slightly in prices as well. We've seen a slight movement back from the high water mark that was March, 2.2% reduction in average sale price. I predict we'll see a little bit more of a softening in price, and I do have some things to suggest you might not want to wait. But anyways, let's move on and take a look, kind of drill down a little bit more. So April over April, you might recall me saying we're in a very strong seller's market. We've had an almost 12% increase in average sale price. We're now at $829,318 on the average residential purchase and $473 on the average condo purchase. Those are some big numbers. Moving on, what we've got here is just a snapshot of what's happening from an inventory standpoint and from a sales volume standpoint. So last April, we sold 2,394 houses in the month of April. It was the biggest April in the last 5 years. This April, we've sold more kind of in line with what we typically would do. So there's quite a drop, a 21% drop in sales volume April over April, and a 6.5% increase in inventory. So we're moving back towards, I can't even say balance. It's not even close to balance, but we're easing a little bit. Now, it would be perhaps a thought in some buyers' heads, hey, if things are softening, if things are shifting, why don't I just take my foot off the gas pedal and wait for a little while and see where things are going? I think that's a bad idea, and I'll tell you why I think it's a bad idea. Interest rates are going the opposite way, and I just mentioned to you that a 1% increase in your bank rate takes about 10% of your purchasing power away from you. So in other words, we'd have to have a very substantial drop in prices for your affordability to be back in line with where it was with the lower interest rate. So my suggestion is, if you're in the market as a buyer, there are some opportunities right now. It's very exciting. Lock in a rate for as long as you can, because they're not going down again, they're going up. And let's get out there and find something for you. Sellers, you know what? This is a little bit of an easier market for you to go in. We do have to realign our expectations. Not every house is going to sell overnight, but this is ultimately a good thing. We want a more balanced, normal market for both buyers and sellers. So let's see what May brings. I would suggest that we'll see, a continuation of this balance. And I see that as long as the interest rates are kind of going up and there's an impetus to create some more balance in the marketplace because it's been so ridiculous. So let's see what May brings. And again, don't hesitate to jump in, because this is a super powerful market. It's been amazing. And ultimately, to all my buyer clients, your affordability is walking away quicker than prices are going backwards thanks to the interest rate hikes. So now is the time. Let's see what May brings.